Hi, I'm Allie Hamilton at yogisanonymous.com, and we're going to do a little intro to seated meditation. So if this is new to you, this is exactly what it's designed for, just to kind of introduce the concept of being separate from your thoughts, that you really are not your thoughts. And there's that saying, like, you don't have to believe everything you think. And also that feelings are not facts. They're just feelings. They arise, they peak, and they subside. And these are all, if you sit and you're quiet and you just breathe in and breathe out, these things become obvious. You start to, there's a thought, But talking about it is less powerful. So I think a lot of people have fear around seated meditation, like it's this esoteric thing, or, I go to sit and then I hear all these voices in my head. It's fine. Today, I don't want you to try to change anything. I just want you to observe. But we're going to use some visualization that might help. So it is going to be good if you can sit up nice and tall. And if that's not comfortable for you, you can put a blanket underneath your tailbone, kind of prop yourself up. You can sit on a couple of blocks. You could sit in a chair if you wanted to. I don't think it's as powerful as sitting on the floor. But for some people, it's just not. It's a deal breaker to sit on the floor. And if that's you, then sit in a chair. It's totally fine, okay? The main thing is to have a nice long spine. And just relax the arms and close your eyes. And become aware of the breath, moving in and out through your nose. You're not controlling it. It might be deep breathing. It might be shallow. However it is. But just to start to draw your attention to that very subtle sensation. And you might notice, for example, the breath is cooler on the way in and warmer on the way out. You might feel one side of the nose is clogged, all kinds of little sensations you can observe as you're breathing in and breathing out. And just start to imagine that whatever it is that's touching the floor, whether it's your sit bones, your legs, just imagine that there are roots growing out into the floor and beyond that into the earth, just like deep, deep roots growing down. And your spine is like the trunk of a tree. And out of your head are all these branches, and every branch is a thought. And some of the thoughts have beautiful blossoms, and some of the thoughts create branches that die. And eventually, if those branches don't fall off the tree, they could start to weaken the trunk and the roots. In life, we want to be feeding those thoughts that are going to turn into beautiful blossoms, and we want to let those thoughts that weaken us, we want to let those just fall away. But when you're sitting and you're meditating, you're not rejecting anything. You're not rejecting any thought, any feeling. You're just observing. You are the tree. And the thoughts are just the blossoms. They're going to come and they're going to go. And some of them are going to die on the branch because they're weakening, and some of them are going to blossom because they're beautiful. And either way, you're just the tree. You're breathing in and you're breathing out. You're rooting down and you're rising up. And you're just watching what's happening up there, all those thoughts that are coming out of your head and turning into branches. And you might notice that, there's a pattern, that maybe you have a lot of thoughts that would turn into branches that would ultimately weaken your trunk and infect your roots Or you might notice that you have lots of thoughts that blossom. There might be a pattern to your thinking, and that would be something good to observe, something good to know. What is the general state of your mind? What is the general state of the relationship that you're having with yourself? And also just the ability to observe your thoughts, create some space between you and them. The ability to observe your feelings as they arise creates little space between you and the feeling. And just to keep breathing in and breathing out. And to feel that happening. And you might notice other sensations. Maybe the hands are starting to tingle, or your fingertips. And you might notice a lot of energy, space between the eyebrows, or the hinge of your jaw, or your shoulders. And you're not trying to fix anything, you're just observing, you're just witnessing how things are with you as you're breathing in and breathing out. And maybe some breaths will go by where there aren't any thoughts. Where there's just you, this tree, and the thoughts are going by like a river. And you're just rooting down and rising up, and breathing in and breathing out. And watching the thoughts go by and realizing you are not those thoughts. And sometimes we have stories that we hold on to, that we feed, that we fuel, stories about, why there are certain scars on our trunk, why our trunk is growing the way that it does, or why the light can't get through. And it can be incredibly liberating just to realize you don't have to hold on to stories, you don't have to hold on to thoughts, again, that are going to weaken you. You don't have to feed that stuff. You can just observe that it's happening as you're breathing in and breathing out. And sometimes it's good to consider, who would you be without your thoughts, without your opinions, without your memories, without the particular culture that you were raised in, without your family. Who would you be without all that? not very different than me or anybody else. There's something really powerful about turning off all your gadgets, getting quiet, just creating a little space and a little bit of time to root down and rise up and breathe in and breathe out. And observe how things are with you. You can really feed your roots a lot of love and peace that way. And feed your whole trunk. And softly blink the eyes open. And if that, was meaningful for you, if that felt powerful to you in any way, you're just taking 5 minutes a day, 5 minutes to sit and breathe it's a life changer if you stick with it. In the beginning, there's a lot of rebellion. The mind is not comfortable. It's addicted to distraction and it does not like to sit still. But if you stay with it, you will find more and more space between the thoughts, and there's so much peace, that's available in that space. And that's also that key space that you can create as you move through your life between a thought that you're having and what you do about it, to create some space between your thinking and your actions, between your feeling and your actions. You don't have to allow these things to rule you, because you have this practice where you sit and you observe these thoughts arising and going by, these feelings arising, peaking, and subsiding and going by. It's a huge key to freeing yourself from reactivity. And I really wish that for you. Sending you lots of love and joy, and thanks for sitting with me. Namaste.